Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good middle of the night. I know we have people here in the One Mondo family from actually all over world, from US to Asia to all over Europe, and I'm coming in from Dubai. And tonight we have a very special guest. And as you can see, we only had 1,000 spots, so I'm sorry for probably going to be 300 people at least that were late that couldn't make it. But hopefully you can see the recording. But tonight we have a very special guest. It's I would say probably the icon of network marketing. He's by far the biggest generic coach, and I can tell you he's one of the few generic coaches I would ever recommend to you as in the One Mondo family. But this man, he has built it huge in the past. He has been a company owner. He has trained so many people on every continent, and some of the biggest companies actually one of the biggest, they signed him on a multi-year contract to train all their top leaders. So I'm excited to have him here tonight. I have a paper and pen here. Mr. Eric Worre. Give him a warm applause. We can't hear that. There's no music, nothing, but Eric Worre, do we have you here? Your co-host. You can unmute yourself, and we cannot see you yet. If you talk, you should be popping up. We cannot hear you, Eric. Can you guys hear
Eric,
Eric, or
can
is
you
it
hear
just
me
me?
now?
There you are. There you are.
There we go. We figure. Hi, everybody. Hello, Zinzino family. It's good to see you all. I hope you're well, and hope translation's coming through. Excellent, Marco. It's great to see you.
Nice to see you, brother. Thank you very much for taking the time and coming in and smacking one of the, very fast growing team. We're going to pass 100,000 active customers in 2, 3 weeks. So we're excited. Thank you for coming.
My great pleasure. Marco and I had an opportunity to spend time. We were together like 24 hours ago or something like that um, in Dubai, and I'm back in Las Vegas. Got back in last night, but we even got to go out and golf, and Marco beat me badly over the course of 9 holes, but had a rare chance to be able to go out and do that. But it's great to see you, and congratulations again. I was watching and seeing all the exciting things that happened out of your convention just a week ago or so. But so many exciting announcements and so many achievements and so much growth, so much momentum. You should be very, very proud. I'm a big fan of your company founders and your company executive team and the vision that they've had from day one in order to be able to build something that lasts. There's a difference between building a company that will make an income for a short period of time and building a business that lasts. That's true for the companies, but it's also true for each one of you. So congratulations on being here. Showing up is a big part of the game. And congratulations on treating this seriously. We're going to spend a little time today talking about how you can take this from a hobby to a real business and how you can help, more importantly, other people do the same thing. That's my passion is to turn this business into a profession, that people are proud to be involved and they do it well. They're well equipped to be able to do it. They develop great skills. But my other passion is to help you take your income and turn it into a business. People assume that once you make an income with a company, even a company as great as Enzino, you have a business. You do not. You just have an income. Now starts the work of turning that income into a business that will require less and less of your personal effort and get more and more leverage over time. So that's my passion. That's what I want to share with you, talk with you about. It's one skill set to develop an income. It's another skill set to keep it. And then it's a third skill set to grow that income beyond maintenance, beyond maintaining what you have right now. So in good momentum or no momentum, your company has momentum now, which is exciting, right? Some of you were involved when there wasn't a lot of momentum, and you had to push. Now you have some momentum. Very exciting time. but also with momentum comes responsibility. So I want to talk to you about how do you take advantage of this moment, because there's going to be legends created in this moment in the next 1, 2, 3 years. People will do better than the last 20 years. Some will. Others will just kind of coast through those next 1 or 2 or 3 years. So it's how you approach it and how you think about it that matters. So let's throw it back to you, Marco. No, nothing? Or do you want me to just keep going?
Yeah, I mean, we have you here tonight, so I think everybody, I mean, they're tired of my voice a long time ago, and we're excited to hear you. So you just dive in, and then it was great to see you the other day, and thanks for coming once
All right.
again. We appreciate it. I
My
mean,
great
I
pleasure.
have to tell everybody here, Eric, because for everybody here, if you haven't looked a lot at Eric and his amazing event, GoPro, and I think, Eric, what's great with you, I think you're one of the few out there you really are out there loud and proud about the network marketing profession. And all the years I've had, promoting your stuff, I have many friends who work close with you in my previous companies, and they always had their teams on your events. And I could see the
Mm.
pride they had in representing a network marketing flag when they're talking to people. So thank you for doing that. And that's so needed.
It's my it's my great pleasure, and I will bounce into what we talked. I'm probably most known for this book. I don't know if you've ever seen this book, GoPro
First book we
7
promote,
Steps to
Eric, since 2013.
Yeah,
First book we promote for newest
this
partner.
was 12 years ago. Put out this book, and it just kind of became a staple. There's over 4 million copies around the world today. In Well, in March of 2026, I have a new book that's been 12 years in the making that's going to be coming out. Um, at our event in December, which we'll tell you about, I'm going to give away a preview edition to anybody who attends that event, live or in person or on live stream. They'll be able to get a chance to get a copy of the preview edition. They'll be the only people in the world that'll have that, because it won't be for sale until next March. But it's an important time, and I want to talk to you a bit about where I see where the profession is right now and why you're so well positioned. Okay, so being involved today is great. Being involved and being active is even better. Sometimes timing has a positive impact on a business. Sometimes you have to change the timing of a business. But like I talked about, there's a couple different phases in our business. One is, hey, come join Zenzino. It's simple, it's fun, it's magical. There's a simple, fun, magical hobby business that we go tell the world, come plug into these systems. We have a process. You can expect good results. If you get people to take their first test and take their second test, you can expect to have 18 months worth of customer activity at an average. Many people much longer than that. There are very few companies in the world that can boast those types of numbers, right? So this simple, fun, magical plug-in, what Marco and Casey and Javier and all these other leaders that are on this Zoom have done is they put together systems, they teach you skills, they teach you mindset, they teach you strategy to be able to build in your local market, to be able to expand to other countries, to be able to help other people, right? So simple, fun, magical. It's a low price of entry to get involved. It's flexible in your time schedule. It's casual. You don't have to walk away from your career or your family to do it. There's lots of support. There's personal growth involved in being in your business. There's community. There's fun. There's all these great things, and you can create an income. Congratulations. You can create an income. And all of those three things are true, but there's a catch. This sounds too good to be true, right? There's a catch. An income is not a business. The income that you make, it's not a business. Just plugging in is not a business. I have to do this here. Can you give me 1 second? Apparently my battery is about to die. on my microphone. So he's
Absolutely, absolutely. Got them ready in the office. You got them ready there in the office. And for everybody here, we'll talk about it and that as well, of course, at the GoPro, the 5th, 6th, and 7th of December. I just posted a link. If you want to buy a ticket, there's a $3 ticket. You get a free book. You have to pay shipping, but also there's a $97 option. We'll talk about more of that at the end. But for the $97 option, you get recording for 24 hours. There's translation Spanish, German, everything. And you get the book, but you also get to interact live with people. You're back. Let's rock and roll, Eric.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had to change the microphone. So yeah, and we will talk about the event and what's going on, and we will have it in English, Spanish, French, Italian, German, Polish, those 6 languages that will have live translation. But the catch that I was talking about in the simple, fun, magical, there's almost like there's 2 businesses. And how many years have you been involved in network marketing? Put the number into the chat. I'm curious. 5, 6, 10, 2, 19 years. Amazing. 1979. Wow.
BK's in the house, Eric. What is it?
BK's in the house, my buddy.
1940?
So here's, if you've been around, this is going to make sense for you. There's 2 businesses. There's this simple, fun, magical, hobby, part-time, light experience. And then there's the real business. And that's harder. And that takes emotional toughness. That takes strength. That takes skills. That takes systems. That takes determination. It takes grit. It takes toughness. If you realize that that's true, put a 2 in the chat if you realize that that's true. There's this simple, fun, magical. That's what we recruit. We recruit with that story. But we don't recruit with it's really hard to turn an income into a business, right? We don't really tell people that. So if you have a hobby level business, those usually don't last. The income comes, and some people think as soon as they get an income, oh, I achieved my goal, I'm done. So they stop working, they stop promoting, they stop building, they stop filling the cup with new business, and their income starts to drop. And when it starts to drop, there's always something to blame. Oh, they changed the comp plan. They changed the product. Oh, it's harder. They don't have translation in my country. Oh, the economy. It's really difficult right now. There's always something you can find to blame. The truth is you took your foot off the gas. You didn't turn your income into a business. Right? So phase 1, simple, fun, magical. Let's get them all in. Phase 2, if you develop an income, turn the income into a business that is sustainable, something that lasts. And then phase 3, teach other people how to turn their income into a business. Then you can become a legend. Okay? So I don't know what phase you're in right now. Some of you are just good soldiers. And for a while, guess what? That's a good strategy. Plug into systems that already exist. Be a good soldier. Follow. Be a good follower so you can learn how to eventually become a leader. So 1, 2, or 3, you can choose, but there's exceptions to this as well, by the way. They're rare. I know a few that are in your company that they created an income and they were just in the right place at the right time. And that income by itself, because other people created businesses to be able to support their teams, that income turned into a business and they could effectively retire. It's rare, but don't get tricked into thinking that it's normal. It's not. For the most part, you're going to have to turn your income into a business. So sometimes you can be faked out. And network marketing is so forgiving, and your company is so forgiving, it will make up for what you lack in leadership for a season. but not forever, not to be sustainable. I want you to have a business that lasts. So if you understand the numbers, our critics, network marketing critics, they get it right with parts of what we do, and they get it wrong. They completely don't understand other parts. Here's what they get right. It's all hype. Simple, fun, and magical. Simple, fun, and magical. That's all they talk about. Simple, fun, and magical. And it's when it's not that simple. It's not that easy. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that network marketing is not that easy. Even though that's what we sell. That's what we all sell. It's simple, fun, magical, builds itself. Product sells itself. All you got to do is get through 2 tests, and then you got a customer for life, all this stuff, right? Simple, fun, and magical. So our critics say we overemphasize how easy it could be, and we underemphasize the toughness part, right? Second thing that they talk about, and I'll draw it out for you. If you understand the big data in our business, they like to say, oh, most people fail. Most people fail in network marketing. Let me give you some real numbers. Let me show you some things. Oh, it's loading. Okay. I'll show you some quick numbers, okay? If you take a snapshot, this is crazy. You take the last 1 million people that have joined network marketing, okay? And you take a snapshot of them at any moment in time. 70% of all participants that are signed up as distributors, 70% have recruited 0 people. 0 other distributors. 70% have recruited 0. Now, if you think about it, think about somebody on your team that just joined today. Well, they're at 0 because they just joined today. So there has to be at minimum always at least 50% that have recruited 0 at a moment in time. Okay? So 70% lifetime have recruited 0. Does that mean they don't get a benefit? No, they get a benefit. They get it. They get the community. They get the personal development. They get the product themselves that they can use for themselves. So the downside is so small compared to any traditional business. The upside is health and good environment, right? So are these people losers? No. They're happy participants for the most part, and most of them turn into customers. 20% have recruited between 1 and 2 people that are also distributors. 20% have recruited just 1 or 2. Very casual. They use the product. They involve a couple people, usually by accident, kind of casually recommending it. And are they losers? No. They make an income, small, short term, but they make an income. And they help a few people. They help themselves. 5% have recruited between 3 and 5 people. Maybe a little bit more serious. Maybe they just did it for 30 or 60 or 90 days. I'm sure you have people on your team that, brought in 3, 4, 5, and that was it. That was all they were going to do. They make a little income. Some people on their team have some product, or maybe somebody goes on and falls into one of these categories. 3% have people recruited between 6 and 9. Lifetime, not a month, not a year, in their entire career at any moment in time. And 2% have recruited 10 or more. Here's the truth. Here's what the critics like to say. All of these people are failures. 98%. They're failures. What they miss is all of those people got a benefit. The downside for those people, they got healthier. They got some product. That's the downside. Really. I mean, think about a traditional business compared to what it costs to start a Zinzino business. They're wrong when they say those people are a failure. But these people is tourists. They're tourists. I live in Las Vegas. Vegas loves our tourists. You come to Las Vegas, you're not going to move here, but you're going to have fun. You're going to get a 3-foot tall margarita. You're going to get go to one of the shows. You're going to go see a concert. You're going to go have some good food. You're going to gamble. You're going to have fun, right? Tourists are amazing and they're wonderful. And in your Zinzino business, you're going to have a lot of tourists. Because can you build a big business with 9 or less people lifetime? Boy, do you need to get lucky. And you might. You might involve some people. It might go. But here's the truth. The 2% drive everything. These people are the ones, they're the engine. This is the starting point. This is practice. This is when you start, when you get 10 or more. Put a number 10 in the chat if you on this Zoom have recruited 10 or more. That's why you're here. You're the engine that drives it all. This is not the end goal. This is the start of turning your income into a business. The beginning of turning your income into a business. This 2%, they recruit 70% of all recruits that come into Zinzino. 70%. They average more than 27 recruits per person. Okay? So if you're not in this 2%, that's your phase 1. Get yourself into that 2%. And teach other people how to do the same thing. These numbers really matter. It takes remarkably low amount of effort to get into the top 2%. Most people are tourists. This is the starting point. Now, you want to get, once you're here and you want to turn this into a business that lasts, you want it to be sustainable. Hard truth, but I'm telling you as a friend. This is not simple, fun, and magical. To learn the skills. It's not simple, fun, and magical to be consistent. It's not simple, fun, and magical to treat it like a business. It's not simple, fun, and magical to when it's not automated. This is real entrepreneurship. I can see some of you on the screen. Raise your hand if you've ever been an entrepreneur outside of your Zinzino business. Have you ever been an entrepreneur? Is it hard or easy? Hard. Really hard. People don't understand how hard it is. But somehow we think when we join Zinzino, because they have such a great support system, they're such a great company, they're such great leaders, that we don't have to become entrepreneurs. And this expectation gap, expecting this, and then this is what gets delivered, we make our income and say, why is our income not permanent? It's not permanent because you still haven't developed the skills. It's not permanent because your systems have holes in them. It's not permanent because you're inconsistent. It's not permanent because you haven't developed other leaders. So we're really good at telling the simple, fun, magical story. We're not very good at managing the expectation when a person comes in, they make some money, and then the income starts to drop. And they go, well, a lot of people think you can build it once and have it for forever. Because look at, and your company has understood this for 20 years. They've understood that you have to have a replacement factor in your business. You have to be able to not only replace customers that fall off, you have to have a machine for that. You have to not only replace those, but hopefully build a machine that will add more than what you started with. Every single business has attrition. Every business. So if I could talk about entrepreneurship for a while, and specifically in terms of your business, every single business has attrition. So Netflix loses 2% of its subscriber base every month. Every month. Now they grow in net subscribers because they have processes and systems in order to be able to replace whatever they lose. So if this is a glass of water, if I had an empty glass here and I pour it in and I fill up that glass, call that my income. Let's say I'm making 3,000 euros a month and I fill up the glass and I have those customers and then I stop filling it up and I set it down and I go on vacation. And if there's just a pinhole in the bottom, you have one of the best retention rates of any that I've heard in our entire profession. But there is an end. Your customers will start, they'll continue, and at some point they will end. There will be an average lifetime value of your customer. How much sales will happen per customer when you take some people that come in never even take a test? Use the product for 1 month and forget about it. Some people take one test and they last for a couple months. Some people take 2 tests and they average 18 months. But some people will turn into builders, some people won't. If they turn into builders, then that increases their retention. So you fill this glass up, you set it down, and you go on vacation. And even if it's just a pinhole, how long until that drains out? It won't last to the end of the day. If Netflix has 2% retention on $14 a month, what will your retention be on 100? Or what will your attrition be more accurately at 100 or 200? Bigger, would you agree? Just normally? Bigger. So you cannot expect to have long-term sustainable business results until you fill the cup and then you build this machine that will continue to fill the cup. And when you go on vacation, it's still filling the cup. And what you've done a great job of is you've built the company and the top leaders have built a really good machine that has built this machine that has created more sales than you lose. Your net subscribers are growing quarter after quarter, month after month, because you've built the machine. And sometimes it's just built on personalities. Really strong personalities. That's why people are recruiting more and selling more and doing things, and that you have momentum. But there's a danger in being personality only based. Have you seen some people who grew for a season with just amazing, over-the-top, charismatic personalities? Right? What happens? Either that personality gets tired and they decide, I'm going to set down what I do and just let this do what it's going to do. I'm tired. Or people get tired of the big personality. People in their teams decide to stop listening to them. They're like, I'm sick of listening to this lady. I'm sick of listening to this guy. So people get tired of the big personality. They don't get tired of a system. They don't get tired of something that will sustain. They don't get tired of this machine. So am I saying don't bring a big personality? No. Bring a big personality. But the personality should be about explaining this is what we're building. And this is why it's important. And can we build something that sustains, that you can retire from? Yes. But you can't do it just filling the cup once. The real truth is, and this is so much better than traditional entrepreneurship, because there's support involved, because there's systems in place, because there's things like your event that you had this last week, and innovation from the company, and all the investment that is made on your behalf that you don't have to make. So, but what we have this low price of entry, but what you lack in original startup costs, what is not required, is replaced by work ethic, grit, consistency, determination, skills. This book is about skills. Just learn the skills. If you learn the skills, you can create a business. And they're not difficult to learn. There's only a handful of skills that you need to learn. Strategy, what's working today is a little different than what worked 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Leadership, obsession. Do you know anybody that built really big in Zinzino without a certain level of obsession? Some people don't like when I use that word, but I cannot think of another word that more accurately describes a real leader. They're obsessed, not just with earning, but with service. They're obsessed with helping people. They're obsessed with making the world a healthier place. They're obsessed with educating people about the products that you offer. They're obsessed with showing people that we have a better way. If you find yourself one of those people, put a 3 in the chat. If you're obsessed, if you're like, no, I'm like all in. That's why you're having the success that you're having. Even if you're part-time, can you be obsessed? Of course. Of course. It's the price of entry to greatness is obsession. And do you know what the biggest thief of your long-term success is? You know what is the enemy of success? What do you think? I've trained millions of people around the world. I know. It's not fear, even though that's a good guess. Comfort. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. And your company can create a very comfortable thing for you. But don't mistake that for a business. It's still only an income. Some of you are comfortable. Hey, I'm good. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. I'm good. What you will find in that comfort is it's a little empty. If it's only about you and your family, it's a little empty. There's a level when you can tap into helping others, it creates a different kind of purpose in your life. A different kind of drive. By becoming service-oriented, contribution-oriented, I will tell you, that's my love language. You know why I'm here today talking with you? Because I want to see you win at a higher level. I'd love to be part of that journey with you. Whatever that looks like. You know, if the GoPro book helped you in some way, I'm happy. If this conversation helped you in some way, I'm happy. This is what brings me joy. If it was just about the money, I'd been done years and years and years ago. So, obsession is, in my opinion, a requirement. Not for the simple, fun, and magical income, but for a sustainable, great, and growing business. And the transition between the two, I want you to hear me. The transition between simple, fun, and magical and a real business, a sustainable business, that's where we lose people. When their expectations are not met in that transition, that's when people start to blame. That's when it becomes hard, people start to blame, and then they fade, or maybe they quit and join another company that promises that it'll be even simpler. It'll be even easier. It'll be even more magical. Just come over here. And as soon as they get over there, they realize, oh, it's work here too. Huh. But We're good salespeople. You know? So when it gets hard, people find a way to go. So the ones who make the transition do so mostly by accident, mostly from pure ambition. Think about the people who made a transition. They joined for simple, fun, and magical, and then something happened and it got hard. Okay? I'm sure that's happened to you. Has it ever been hard to build your Zinzino business? Put a 2 in the chat. Has it ever been hard? Have you ever wondered? Have you ever am I right for this? Is there something wrong with me? These other people having success. I'm not having the success. Why? When it gets hard, most people don't make the journey, this leap. If simple, fun, and magical is here and hard business is here, there's a bridge. And they don't make the leap. The ones that do it mostly by accident. Maybe you're like me. When it happened to me, 3.5 years into my network marketing career, a long time ago, when it happened to me, I had limited options. Where else could I go? I just didn't have a lot of doors that were open to me. Some of you have all kinds of options. People on your team, they have options. So when it's simple, fun, magical, they're in, they're fine. But when it becomes hard, they're like, I got other stuff I can do. I don't need this nonsense. I don't need people looking at me sideways. I don't need people judging me or blaming me for their lack of success. I just lost this line, or I lost this person, and this is difficult, and I don't like it. I'm going back to my job. I'm going back to my business. And emotionally, they check out. So you might have limited options, and I hope you do. So you'll stay, and you'll figure it out. Or you have a strong enough desire and strong enough reasons that you'll go through the fire in order to turn your income into a sustainable business. It's not usually by design. Most people don't see it coming, this transition. But if you can manage this transition, just let me tell you something. Your company's done an extraordinary job of helping to develop you. But a lot of what they do in doing that is actually not their job. It's yours. And you expect the company to do more and more and more and more and more and more, but it's really yours. Asking the company to do more and you do less. Jim Rohn told me this lesson. Be careful of having the mindset of, I'd like to do a little bit less and I'd like to get a little bit more. Because the end of that road is I want to do nothing and I want to get everything. And we all agree that that's not reasonable. Here's what entrepreneurs do. They say, I want to do as much as I possibly can, knowing that I can do more in the future. Because I want to create as many results for other people and for myself as possible. They think of work differently than the simple, fun, magical people. They're ready for the weekend. They just want to work just long enough to get some money. And then they want to quit as quick as possible. Real business people building sustainable business, they rest just long enough to get back at it and go build again. They don't look at work as drudgery or as pain. They look at it as creation, as contribution, as purpose, as mission. That's what they look at for it, or look at it. So what makes a sustainable business? It's really simple. What is the average lifetime value of your customer? What can you count on? What is the average lifetime value? And I don't know what yours is. But if you think about how many customers do you have, how many times do they order, and what are the size of their orders? Is it 18 months? Maybe. It might be 18 months. I will promise you it's probably not. It's 18 months if they take 2 tests. How many don't take 2 tests? How many don't take 1 test? That's on us. How do you get it to as close to 100% of people as possible to take 2 tests? There's some of you have an average lifetime value of 20 months, 24 months, 30 months. Some of you have an average lifetime value of 4 months. It depends on what you do with that new customer. What machine did you build that makes sure more people take 2 tests? Right? Now we start to separate the big business builders from the average, from the simple, fun, and magical followers that are going to be here and they're going to be gone. There's lots of businesses that you could talk about with their average lifetime value, but the lower the average lifetime value, the more difficult it's going to be to maintain what you're building with additional people. The higher your average lifetime value, the less stress on this machine. So there's things that you can do. Attrition is normal. Every company has it, but you have to win at the customer level. And that's what I think I'm probably most impressed with you as a company, is your founders from day one said, we're going to make the customer the thing. We're going to make their experience magical. We're going to be obsessed with their results. We're going to be obsessed with the science behind it. We're going to do everything possible to help you build something that lasts. But just plugging in and being a follower is not enough. And how can you tell if you have a good machine? It works. Not just for a moment, not just for a season. Right now, I asked Marco, 30 hours ago, what was it like building in Zinzino 10 years ago versus building today? 10 years ago, different story. Today, you're sexy. Today, you got momentum. Today, you got some swagger. You know, today you got quarter over quarter growth. Look at us go today. But it wasn't always like that. You were involved 5-10 years ago. It was a push, man. You had to push. You didn't have all the bells and whistles you have now. You didn't have all the science. You didn't have all the special stuff. It was a push. But now it's sexy, fun. There's some sizzle. You have evidence, not just a story. You have evidence of success. You have lots of people making a good income. Some more and more people becoming good leaders. So if you want to have something that sustains, you got to build this machine. And that comes from building a team, increasing and changing their mindset that an income is not a business. Once they get their 10 recruits, congratulations, step one. Now you can get into the race. Now we start to develop your skills. Now we start to shape your mindset. Now we need to start developing you as a leader. You don't need to just plug in. You can be a leader that can teach others and liberate others. Phase 1, simple, fun, magical. Phase 2, tough, gritty, challenge, growth, build a machine. Phase 3, teach other people to do the same thing. And once you teach other people to do the same thing, your business starts at the beginning, 100% of your income is based on you. You transition into a sustainable business that lasts, a small percentage is based on your own personal production. Once you build leaders who do the same, now it's a tiny, tiny fraction. What percentage of your income today is based upon your personal efforts? Throw it into the chat. I'm curious. What percentage of your total income would you estimate is based upon your personal sales, your personal productivity? You're bringing in personal customers. What percentage? 100? 100%? Michael, 0.001? So those of you that are 100, you're just in the simple, fun, and magical phase, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wouldn't it be better to get it to 50? Or 20? Or 5? Or 1? Here's what I promise you. If you do this right, you can get it from 100% to 1%. Wouldn't that be nice? And your income growing every single month? What if you can get it to 1/100th of 1%? Marco, what's your number? What percent is on your personal effort of your total income?
0.00001 probably.
0.0001.
And I'm active, working hard daily, but still that.
Yes, I understand. But there was a time when it was 100, and then it went to 90, and then 80, and then 70, and that's what we're shooting for. If it's at 100, you're going to get tired at some point. You're going to get frustrated at some point. You're going to get discouraged at some point. But you can't get mad at network marketing. You can't get mad at your company because other people have turned it from 100% to 0.000%. You can do the same, but you got to build this. And here's the good news. The skill set, mindset, systems, culture that you can build will help you do that. And you know that you have it when it works. There's really only 4 things that we do in our business. We sell using word-of-mouth advertising. We sell. You add your customers on AutoShip. Number 2, we recruit. We build an ever-expanding team of other people who are also selling. Number 3, we duplicate. Now it starts turning into a business. Duplication is not natural and it's not automatic. Even if you've had some duplication, if you don't have a machine for it day in and day out, you cannot count on it. You've got to build a machine to have duplication. And then there's leadership. We lead the teams that we have. And based upon our leadership, the teams will be more productive or less productive. So, simple, fun, magical is the selling and recruiting side of things. Duplication and leadership is the sustainable business side of things. So I want to commend you all. I've just got a couple minutes, but let me just share a few things with you. I want to commend you on choosing wisely. You've chosen a company so well that's doing remarkable things, led by remarkable people, with remarkable field leaders. There's just not enough of those remarkable field leaders. To go from where you are to $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion, $5 billion, which I see happening for you, you can't get there with the leaders that you have now. You need more. And if you're on this Zoom, it's my challenge to you to turn your income into a sustainable business and then show other people how to do the same thing. Learn the skills. Learn the mindset. Learn the strategy. Learn how to become a leader, even if you don't think of yourself as a leader. There's all different styles of leadership. If you don't believe that you have what it takes to be a leader, you're wrong. You do. You can learn how to become a leader if your desire is strong enough. So to this GoPro experience that we have, December 5th, 6th, and 7th. 3 days of the best information I can possibly bring to you. 8 hours a day, 3 days, in the 6 languages I talked about: English, Spanish, French, German, Italian, Polish. Translated. A ticket is normally $300 to watch that online. In person is very close to sold out. There's only a few tickets available in person. This will be the largest event in network marketing history. All generic, no companies are mentioned, no products are mentioned, but we share the ideas of the fastest growing business builders in the world. Everything that I've learned by looking at this profession around the world, training millions of people, we're going to deliver over 3 days. A ticket is normally $300. But this is such an important time. If you want to learn how to turn an income into a business, this 3 days will give you a roadmap to do that. If you want to learn how to teach other people how to turn their income into a business, that's what we're going to cover over the course of these 3 days. Success leaves clues. 3 days. Now, it might not be convenient for you. It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, right? So you're going to have to go into the evening. But if you flew to Las Vegas, your body would be upside down anyway. I'm just going to encourage you to be upside down at home. Watch it on your couch. You know, take an energy product and be ready to take notes. Turn it into something that you can do with your team. But these 3 days, I promise, will smash it for you. If you already have a ticket, put a 7 in the chat. I'm curious. If you don't, I will tell you, there's a lot of 7s. Great. I can't wait to see you. I will tell you, if you don't have a ticket, it's not $300 this year. I made it for a limited time, $3 US, $1 a day for 3 days. I'd make it free, but I feel like you have to have some skin in the game to treat this seriously. $1 a day for the best training in the world, where you can, here's what I want you to have. When you're done, a roadmap to be able to capture the moment that you're in. The next 1, 2, 3 years, some of you are going to become legends. But it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. You do not want to walk into this season with Zinzino without the skills, without the mindset, without the strategy, and without the leadership necessary to help people capture the moment. So Marco's going to give you a ticket, or give you a link for the ticket. So we want you all to be, in your own community to be able to experience this together. He'll give you a link to this. I hope you join us, and I hope the information I share with you today will give you a little bit of a push to know that what you're involved in right now is special. It's special. And also, I've got a new book. This is not the cover, but I have a new book coming out that people who attend, even if you attend online, I will send you a copy, a preview copy, not for sale, because the book won't be released until next March. But a preview copy to everybody who attends. I can only send it in English because the preview copy is only in English. When we release it in March, it'll have all the other languages. But if you'd like to have an English copy, when you attend that event, even if you just have a $3 ticket, you'll have the option to be able to get a free copy of this. You pay shipping, I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. Okay, I want you to have it. So listen, I got to jump on another Zoom. Mad love to all of you. I cannot be more proud of you. I cannot be more impressed with your organization, with your company. You're doing amazing work, and you're changing lives, not just with your products, but with your opportunity. Be prepared for the moment, okay? Capture it, crush it, smash it. And if I can be a little part of that story with you, that'll make my heart happy. So, mad love. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody, have a great day. I got to log off, but Marco will give you the rest of the information, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you so much for coming on. And for everybody here, that event, take your belief, the mindset, the skills, everything to the next level. I'll post a link here now. Don't text in the chat so you can post a link, because people texting me private. What's the link? What's the link? Here is the link. And somebody texted, can you see the link? It should be there now. Yep, one posted after. There's the link. You have the $3 ticket for 3 days event with translation, but the 97 one has replay for 24 hours if you're sleeping. But the 97 one also have, you get divided in breakout rooms. And last year, Zinab got in a breakout room, actually with Kelly Verles, our new rock star here from Belgium, and they met in a breakout room. So you get the chance to interact with others. That's why I highly recommend you get the $97 option. And you also get the book. You just, of course, have to pay shipping, depending on what country you live in. And be there at that event. And then also, last thought. I know many have a different call in 1 minute, but 200% ECB coming up, right? November, 4 days to go. I really hope you as a leader bring excitement, bringing the clarity on what's possible for them. And when you break down the numbers, remember one thing, to raise the belief for somebody to see it's possible is key, right? And if you look at one new fast start is 3,400 credits. You sign up somebody first days of the month, run them through the fast starts, get the two, who get their 2 and 10 products, that's 3,400 credits. So when you're breaking down a plan with somebody, 4 people, 4 new fast starts, is your brand new diamond. 7 brand new fast starts, in your whole team, your director, 14 new crowns. I mean, sorry, 14 new fast starts and your crown. But it starts with you now, bringing that excitement, clarity for your people, break down those numbers. And then if somebody's new to the team, how do I win quick? We have a success code. It's 51575. 51575. What do we mean with that? You can build an empire with 5 right people. And 5 people, if you learn the system, we have one page and 1Mondo family, you learn simple ABC, how to launch a person, launch them correctly, do the basics with them. 1 out of 3 will run the play. That's the average. So to get 5 who really runs the play, if it's 1 out of 3, you need to sponsor 15 people. 5, 15. 15 personal sponsor to take your business to the next level. To find the 5. 1 out of 5, if you invite correctly and present, will start. That's the average. 1 out of 5 presentations. So you know how quick you do that. It's 15 times 5, 75 presentations. 75 presentations to get your 15 to find your 3 runners on average. So the only question is, you do 10 a day, you find them in a week. You know what most do? They do 1 a month, 1 every second month. And then it takes you 75 to 150 months, 10 years to even lay that foundation. That's why few people win here. So you take that action. Imagine you do 10 a day in 7 days, or in 8 days, you've done 77. You find the runners quick. That's how people win quick here. But most they do 1 a month, 1 every second month. It will take you 75 to 150 months, a decade, to lay the foundation. That is the difference of people win quick and people who never win or win, because too low tempo, you come into the meetings with low energy, you're not in momentum when it comes to that. So you bring the excitement, enthusiasm, clarity in the plan, and you bring intensity to that. Trust me, there's no limits to what you can create. And when you hear Uri and Saleh, our amazing founder, talking about 40 billion euros a year as a company 2050, for many people, even for me, it's been uncomfortable when he says 40 billion. I'm like, 40 billion, is that possible? And then I had a call the other day with a Japanese team with BK, and I broke it down. And I talked about we only grow if it's less than to hit 40 billion. We have to grow less than half of what we're doing now. Of course, every year, you won't grow every year, but that's the average growth to hit the 40 billion. It's possible, but to become the biggest preventive health company in the world, I think it's going to happen. 100 million active customers, 2050, probably going to happen. So imagine the opportunity you're sitting on here, because there's other companies who's been around 60, 70 years in this profession, where people now 2 generations later have a huge income for the built in the 50s, 60s, 70s. That's what you're sitting on here. That's the opportunity I have with Zinzino. And it's based on blood tests. It's based on a profitable company, debt-free, money in the bank, with open numbers. I said it first time February this year. This is probably the best timing this profession has ever seen in the history of this industry. So I hope you, right now, the next 4 days, last 4 days of October, bring the intensity, enthusiasm, and clarity, and line up a couple of new hungry people and launch on the 1st of November and go out and help you win big. Because Zinzino is going to do it with or without us. So we can might as well take advantage of this opportunity. So I know I'm going to see many of you the 6th, 7th, 8th of February here in Dubai at the 1Mondo event. We have Fraser Brooks, who's actually the only 2 of generic I promote you hear from. Eric, and you're going to meet Fraser Brooks live in Dubai at the 1Mondo event in February. Thank you for everything you do. It's a privilege to be on the same team as all of you amazing human beings here. And we are by far the biggest organically grown team in Zinzino. And in September, there were only one team bigger us in volume, in revenue. So we will be number 1 there as well soon. So let's make an impact together. Let's get the world in balance, make a huge impact there, and help people grow as human beings. and become a special person so they can go out and serve other people, help other people grow, develop, and add value in this world. Appreciate you a lot, my friends, and see you very soon again. Make it a great closing of October and a great November. A November to remember. Thank you. Ciao, ciao, ciao.